We are back once again for another episode of Validation Boy Livestream, December 11th, 2017. How's it going, my little motherfuck faces? How y'all doing? Lee Harvey Hitler's joined us. Twitwit's joined us. The Scarecrow, Near Base, Schlumminger, Flat Earth Bastard, Dick Trippinballs, the reigning defending champion. Wow. All right, let's go in as per tradition, and we're going to do the first 5 in the live chat. Hint at number 1, someone who's been fighting to break that top 5 and actually came in at number 1, and I will honor it this time. Pet my cat with those 2. In at number 1. Now, in at number 2, pretty much the commanding officer of Validation Boy Livestream. They Lie, Ohio. Please subscribe to his channel. And if you guys want to see interesting stuff, go check out They Lie, Ohio. You want to see stuff that will relax you, get you thinking, put you in the right state of mind. You know, let's say you had a stressful day at work. You want some wisdom, you check out They Lie, Ohio. You want a little comedy, you check out They Lie, Ohio. He's got it all. He is the man. They Lie, Ohio is the man. If all of us could aspire to be like They Lie, Ohio, America would be a lot better fucking place. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that, guys. All right. In at number 3, he is the reigning champion of Validation Boy Livestream chat. He goes hardest. Okay. He's the one that's digging in. Okay. All up in everything. He's nonstop. He's like a gopher, just ramming through. Okay. Dick Trippinballs. Honor to have you, my champion, Dick Trippinballs. You are the reigning champion, and it's such a great pleasure to have you. And we love it when you show up and you lay the smack on all these candy asses, all these dodgy fannies. Okay, all of them. In at number 4, a staple, and someone I'm proud to have hanging around Validation Boy Livestream. That is OJ McBaggins, who says, "Titty sprinkles." And then at number 5, another appearance in the first 5 for this person, HSP Gang. Glad to have you. Great to see you here. Whew. OJ McBaggins, They Lie. Vagination Boy. Twitwit has joined us and says that she is first, which is, of course, a lie. What would we expect? She's a woman. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Okay, Schlumminger has joined us. Oh, check out Schlumminger. And also, another guy you guys need to subscribe to. Coming out some good stuff, always. Andres, subscribe. ANDRZACE, subscribe. Okay? Twitwit finally fucking gets it right and says, Schlumminger. Take a breath. Schlumminger. Thank you. And I'm not picking on you, Twit. I'm just saying everybody needs to learn. It's not Schlumminger times 2, okay? It's Schlumminger, okay? That's how we honor Schlumminger in this show, okay? There's They Lie, Ohio, okay? Hute Yube has joined us. It's good to see you around. Hute Yube. Ute Hoob, formerly, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. Pet my cat with those. Says that something sounds like early Kraftwerk. I don't know if you guys were able to hear my music. I thought I was on mute. I don't know what the fuck went on with that original part. We cuss on this show. We say fuck. We say cunt. We say bastard. We say whore. We say shit, ass, twat, coochie, fucking roast beef. We say it all on this show, okay? It's nasty over here, okay? We're joined by Emma Leishman. We're joined by Anonymous Farm TV, and who says evening, cucks. It seems like everybody's a cuck, right? Emma Leishman says she might actually even join us later. I'm going to try to get Ed UpsideDownHead in here, and I'm hoping that he's actually waiting in the queue. Whew. In fact, I got to get him in here now. Now that I've done my first 5. Oh, the Scarecrow and Shill Scanner are buddies. Shill Scanner asked Crow if he plays PS4. Crow used to want me to get the PS4, and I still don't have the damn PS4. Eventually, I'll get it. Eventually, I will. And, you know, I could play wrestling games with people in other countries. How awesome would that be? Get some pro wrestling going on in the video game. Fucking pure fun. You know, wrestling is the sport of kings. You know, real wrestling, the Greco-Roman style, the amateur style, that is the sport. That's the first sport in history. It's the greatest sport. It takes the most endurance. It takes the most knowledge, the most skill, the most awareness, the most agility, strength, the ability to psych your opponent out. It's the truest sport of all times. You could take it to the next level and call professional wrestling the sport of kings. You know, I'm not saying that professional wrestling is better than real wrestling at all. I'm just saying one is pretty much the sport, which is real wrestling, and then pro wrestling is the sport of kings. You know, like Al Bundy used to say. It's fucking true. There's nothing better than some pro wrestling, and I wish that you guys, 'cause a lot of you guys out there are missing out on how awesome professional wrestling really fucking is. But that's, you know, that's something that we're not really gonna ever really go into any great detail on this show about. Maybe one day I'll start a side channel because I'm pretty much a fucking expert. You know, and in fact, there's a local here in Orlando who owns a wrestling school for professional wrestling, and about 15 to 20 of his students have gone on to become WWE wrestlers. And I feel like I might just have to interview that dude. That dude's fucking awesome. I've been to several of his fucking independent companies' shows. So a lot of them lately have just been basically free because it's just the students and their families and stuff like that. Some people, there's like 30 people. But they used to have a thing in downtown Orlando, in the fucking downtown rec center, and there'd be a good 100, 150 people sometimes. And it was some of the nastiest, full contact, hardest fucking hitting shit you've ever seen in your life. And that's independent professional wrestling. There's no other sport that can injure someone as badly as professional wrestling. And you want to call it a sport or not. But the act of professional wrestling is indeed, by far, except for real wrestling. Well, I don't know. It's arguable. It's apples and oranges. But by far, it's pretty much the most dangerous and the most toughest sport around. Even the NFL players talk about how, damn, I could never be a WWE wrestler. I'd fold in 5 minutes and shit, you know? And a lot of them would. Twitwa says, let's not talk about wrestling. I'm not going to go into great detail about wrestling. I just want you guys to know it's fucking awesome. And Lee Harvey Hitler says, and you know they're all coked up. a lot of them are on fucking stimulants and shit. Whatever. Anyways. Wow. I got it. It's a fucking who's who. We got like it's only like the coolest, most slickest, most badass people that hang out in Validation Boy live stream. You guys ever notice that? It's only like the truly fucking worthy that are chilling up in the BB live stream. All right, I'm going to get a guest up in here. Let's do this. I'm hoping that my guest shows up, you know, as fast as possible. Please show up as fast as possible, bro. Let's see. Let's see here. Let me do it again. Let me take this part out. Send that bad boy. See what happens here. Shit happens. I'm not even prepared. Watch him show up. I'm not even prepared. Huh, you're already there. I can't even hear you. Hold on. I can't even hear you. I can't even hear you.
Jesus.
I'm never prepared for this shit. I always fuck up and send a fucking link. Okay, now I can hear you.
Here we go. What's up, VB?
What's up, man?
How you doing? Shout out to the chat. All you 30-plus roasties and beta chads out there. Fuck.
Fucking beta cuckery, bro. To the extreme.
Beta chat is a disease, bro.
What constitutes betaism in a male? And what age limit does this start? What do you think?
I think it probably starts young.
Like
Honestly.
5 years old or like 12 years old?
I don't know. The school structure will probably dictate how that goes. Where you get the kids that everybody listens to, the kids that get beat up. You know what I mean? That probably just continues. You know what I mean? Unless people make drastic changes.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes the kid that everybody listens to when you're all 12 years old ends up being the guy in prison that nobody gives two fucking shits about. Right?
Right. This is true.
Oh, man. So this is your first time being on here as just you and me.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Man, so I've always found great interest in when I've seen you in live streams as a guest panelist and stuff. I've always cracked up or been completely enthralled by a lot of the stuff that you've said, man. It's just I really relate to a lot of stuff you said over the year, maybe more that I've been seeing you around. So yeah, can I kind of pull a Patty Steer on you and kind of like sort of interview you a little bit?
Sure, dude. I guess go for it.
No, I mean, not like that. I just want to know, like, so when did you get involved in all this? And because I'm not really sure on your origins in the flat earth scene, because in the beginning there was like tons of people around and I didn't keep track of every single person because, there was just too many to keep track of. But now that I've been around a while, I've seen all the. So, I mean, when did you really start in with this shit?
Well, dude, I started out, shit, dude, I don't know. I'd say like October, November, like 2014. But I had a different YouTube name then because it was like an old holdover before YouTube sold to Google. So like I couldn't do anything with the channel. So, but I used that for like a year, and I was called Earth Shook Run. It was an old band page that I had, and then I switched over to Ed UpsideDownHead in like, what was it, like late 2015, something like that, maybe like August 2015.
Okay,
but,
so I would only know you
yeah.
at UpsideDownHead. That's all I would have ever seen you as, I think, because I wasn't. I mean,
yeah, but I've had this profile name for like 2.5 years now, something like that. Well, 2 years, about that. Yeah, 2.5 years.
Okay, so this is not a channel though. You don't have any. It's not like a channel.
No, I got content.
Okay,
it's not like it's not dedicated to anything. I got my own flat Earth debunks. I got some SpaceX debunks. I got some random bullshit where I feed fucking squirrels in my backyard because I'm a squirrel whisperer. It's good stuff.
Because see, I mean, I tried looking you up, and I never thought to just like go in a live stream, find you, and click on the channel, and go to your channel, and just look at it right there. Because
I'm probably gonna be changing the name again. I'm gonna keep the channel, but I'm gonna change the name because I realized that with Ed being a fucking suffix and all, that like you put Ed in and it'll be like depressed, suppressed, obsessed. You know what I mean? All that shit will fucking probably pop up before I show up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I need to change it up. I'll probably do something like EUHD or something weird because I could pick up on extra people who are searching the European Union and the term HD. So who knows? Who knows how I could manipulate the search engine algorithm?
People are going to be out there looking. There's going to be like some French dude looking for like some kind of congressional hearing from the EU that he could watch in HD, and he ends up on your channel. He
sees my ass like, what the fuck is this about? This isn't about the memorandum.
Man. So when I get back, I'm currently I've been away from my house for about a month and a half. I'm out here in North Carolina, my parents' house, and taking care of some family issues and stuff. But I'm heading home on Wednesday, and I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal. I'm gonna get all this shit that I've been talking about and put it into small, short videos, and I'm just gonna put it out there so I can sweep it under the rug and move on to new stuff. And if anybody want to talk about it, I'll be like, yeah, check this link out. Leave a fucking comment. If you want something to say about it, make a video. Yeah. I mean, I find that I've been doing that myself. I mean, about a year ago, I kind of purged my channel. I put a whole bunch of shit on private that it didn't really apply to anything I was thinking about or being concerned with anymore. And I was like, I don't need this video up here. It doesn't define me or anything. It doesn't define this channel. It doesn't fit in with the rest of this channel exactly. Or it's just not the best shit. And since I had enough videos out at that point, I decided I'm going to put it like about 10 or 15 or whatever it was on private and delete some of them even. But I mean, like, you got to keep it fresh. You got to move forward. But like, I move on from topic to topic. There was a while I was talking about trannies, and there was a while I was talking about, whatever subject, and I make videos and I try to sum it up as best as possible and then move on. So I see what you're saying. So home is Boston or what?
No, I live out in Oklahoma City right now. Well, I've been living there for like, I don't know, 10 years now. But I'm from Boston, joined the Air Force, and then ended up in OKC. I just stuck around because the property's cheap, and I like to live easy and not fucking full of stress. I have all my hair and I'm in my mid-30s, dude. No offense.
That's good. No, I don't know if it's stress. I think it's just genetic for me. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure it's genetics. I know. I'm just saying.
I'm shameless with it, man. I bring it up to everybody because anytime I ever meet anybody, I get a new job or anything like that, or people introduce or anything, and then here's this fucking guy with this bald, shiny, bald fucking head, and people always, I guess in person I don't look like I should be having a bald head. Maybe I don't know.
Right. But yeah, dude, live in Oklahoma City, man, and it's nice out there. I like it. It's different from me. I'm like a fucking unicorn out there with this accent of mine. Like some people even think that I'm from like England and shit. And like some people will be like, "Where are you from?" And I'll be like, "I'm from New England." And they'll be like, "How's London this time of year?" You know what? I hear it's real foggy over there. And I'm like, "Oh my Lord, read a book, lady. Did you ever go to school? Like what the fuck?"
Damn, man.
Sometimes, dude. Yeah.
Just telling me from Rhode Island or Rhode Island.
Nah, I mean, I'd never identify as a pointy head. No way.
Man, so your neighborhood, what side of town? What's your deal? You don't have to tell me like anything too personal. I mean, just like. So
what do you mean? What do you mean?
So was it was it on the nice side of town? You on the average, in the middle class, like that kind of stuff? I mean, like, did you grow up super rough or anything that I need to know about before I call the police on you?
Kind of. I don't know. I don't think how I grew up was rough, but then again, a lot of people probably would think that it was the case. Like my wife grew up in Baltimore for a portion of time, and like when I took her home to visit, and she was like, "Oh my God, this place is crazy." I'm like, "Yo, Baltimore is insane. Like, what are you talking about?" So I guess it's the grass is always greener type situation, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I grew up in a good town. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like one of the last towns. It was one of the last towns where like go out to the bar, get drunk, get in a fight, like drink, fight, fuck. Like that's a good night. That's a good weekend. You had fun. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Orlando, and I mean, like when I was a young kid, Orlando was still cow pastures and shit like that, And now it's this beat up old town, and there's just like gayness everywhere. Everything's all Disney and gay. Everything. There's just rainbows all over the sides of every building. Everywhere you go in this city, it's like a super super gay fest. It's weird, man. It's weird, and that's where I live now. Just saying. I mean, that's
funny. I was out in Orlando 3 years ago. I went and checked out Full Sail University. One of my best friends lives out in Orlando also, so I went out there and chilled out with him and checked out the college that I was going to, because I was going to online for internet marketing, which I learned a lot of stuff. And actually, I got to bring up a lot of shit about that school's connection to the WWE. We can knock that out later. So I was out there, and like Orlando was like, dude, I don't know, man. It was like a fucking Disney cartoon, man. I don't know. It's fruitcake shops everywhere, fruitcakes everywhere.
Yeah.
The place is interesting to say the least, man, but it's Florida, dude.
I know.
Have you ever heard the Florida man idea, where like in the news, Florida man is always the craziest, where like it'll be like, today Florida man loses tongue trying to kiss alligator to impress grandma or something like that. Like
yeah, I've seen all that, man. Yeah, I know. Florida man is like just this character that appears in headlines and shit.
Yeah. I lived out in Pensacola for a little while. Well, stationed out in Pensacola for a short period of time. Over at Eglin Air Force Base, and it was a good time. It was interesting, man. The South is I don't know, man. It was culture shock for me, because it was within a year of me moving from Massachusetts, and like I hadn't adapted to America yet.
Yeah. Orlando is fucking crazy, man, because honestly, here's Orlando. Okay, it used to be cow pastures, and then in the 90s, there started a slow influx of Hispanics, and then sometime in earlier mid 2000s, I think Puerto Rico was made a state or something like that.
No.
So, or what?
It's been a province for a while.
Yeah, or whatever happened, and so basically over the last 10 years, there's been this exponential tidal wave, I mean tsunami wave of Puerto Rican people moving into the city of Orlando. And then they're young and they're all having babies at like age 14, 15, you know. And it's
probably mostly well, not the babies, but the moving. You got to consider the hurricanes that destroyed the Caribbean. You know what I mean? And they're all going to Florida.
Yeah, I know it's safer here. Plus it's mainland United States, and a lot of them, you know, get a lot of government benefit and got a government aid and stuff. And it's just it's very odd for someone who grew up here. And when I grew up here, it was just suburbs and cow patties. And
dude, when I grew up, it was all Irish and Italian kids, and there's a lot of Haitian kids too where I grew up, and it was fine. You know, it wasn't a big deal. But now it's like I see people walking up the sidewalks when I go back home. I see people walking up the sidewalk. I'm not joking about this. There are women with baskets full of laundry and fruit on their heads walking up and down the street, and I'm like, what is going on here? Because there was a big influx of Brazilians. Years ago, and then a bunch of Portuguese came over too, and like Massachusetts it's really diverse. Like that's the melting pot in my opinion. Like hell, going through elementary school and everything, we had ESL programs. Like I thought that was normal. I thought that was a normal thing, that there was like a whole side. Like we had half of our school was like just kids that didn't speak English, like English as a second language.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought that was a normal thing, but no, it's not.
Well, no,
but so the demographics have always changed in Massachusetts too. Because I remember, like, even going through elementary school, like we had a lot of Serbian people came over after the crisis in Kosovo, and then there was a bunch of Cambodians that came over after the shit they had going on over there, and it was like, I don't know, Massachusetts is like turbo fucking liberal, like psychotic craziness, which is good to, you know, a lot of people that want to be Americans and do all this other shit, but there can be downsides. Obviously, we don't need to get into that, but you understand.
Yeah, no. My mom and dad, they're basically their neighbors, best friends, and stuff like that for many decades. They're from Boston, and so I grew up with these people, and it was funny because the woman was just 100% Italian, and the dad was 100% fucking Irish, man. You know. Like as Irish as you can get and as Italian as you can get. And it's just, they were just,
there's a lot of Italianish. There's a lot of Italianish in Boston.
I mean, and they were awesome people, man. They really, I mean, it was just always constant laughs and just good times with those people, man. It's like, so down home family. A lot of people from up north live in Orlando now. I mean, like a lot of the Puerto Rican people in Orlando are actually from New York City.
Yeah, dude. That's how my parents' neighborhood is out here. Like their neighbors, one's from New Jersey, one's from New Hampshire, one's from West Virginia, and like nobody in this neighborhood in the general area is from North Carolina. And like the locals here, they fucking hate us. Oh my god.
Yeah, right. Yeah. See, Orlando. That's the thing with Orlando. There was never any locals. Orlando pretty much didn't even. I mean, it existed for what 150 years, whatever before, but. It just basically was just a small road with a factory, or not a factory, just some orange groves on one side and some cow patties on the other side, cow pastures on the other side. And I guess in the 80s is when my parents moved here, and it was still all just surrounded. I mean, Orlando was surrounded by woods. This little cutout patch, a little bullshit city, and it was attached to Disney because Disney is actually really far south of Orlando. It's like a distant drive. It's not like Disney. A lot of people don't understand this. Disney is not in Orlando. It's a 30-minute drive south of Orlando. And it's its own whole complex, underground, everything they got out there. It's massive acreage. And it's just that it's connected to Orlando. And Orlando, I guess, has benefited from Disney, but it always wasn't always really entirely dependent on Disney, I don't think. And I don't think it really is at all still to this day. Because now when people go down to Disney, they don't even fuck with Orlando. They don't even come to Orlando itself. They just stay out in the Disney area.
Where do they go? What's the town now? Like the Kissimmee area? Is that where it is?
Yeah, Kissimmee. Yeah.
Kissimmee. Yeah.
Kissimmee. People say Kissimmee.
Right. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit of Italian I got in my blood. Yeah. Kissimmee. Hey.
No, people always say it that way though. But it's all Indian names. It's all Native American names, And I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty much the entire country, though.
So you ever been to Orlando though? Yeah, you said you were in Orlando, right? Yeah. Did you take Cimarron Boulevard?
I believe I did. It was, like I said, it was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I was only there
Yeah,
for a couple of days. But
did you fly in? Did you fly in?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you flew in, then that means you were at the airport, and the airport dead ends into this street called Cimarron. People don't know how to really pronounce it, but people always say, "What the hell's Cimarron?" You know, because around you have Chickasaw Trail, you have Econolokahatchee, things like that. It's all these Indian names, all the roads. And thing is that Cimarron, people think that that's an Indian name, but it's not really. It's a combination of the word Seminole and the word orange, because it's Orange County and it's all orange. It used to be all orange groves in Orlando. So yeah, so Cimarron means, just so you know. I think I said that once before on this show, but I just want a little mind blower for some people.
Yeah, dude. No, this is shit. Half the states are named after Indian names. Fuck, Massachusetts is an Indian tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, like, yeah, there's and especially I live out in Oklahoma, which actually translate into the land of the red man. Like, I've learned all about Indian culture since I moved out here, and like back when I grew up, like I figured like if I saw two Indian, like actual like Native American Indians, like even though I hate using that term Native American because we were all fucking born here. If we were born here, we're all native, so that's retarded. Anyway,
Okay.
But I used to think like if I saw more than like two of them like outside in public, like I should probably play the lottery that day because that shit don't happen. And then I go out to like Oklahoma and I'm like, wow, I am the pastiest fucking person out here. Like, okay, in certain areas, like when I hit like some of the casinos and stuff, and like, yeah, I don't know, it's diverse in its own way. You know what I mean? It's every place around in America is just totally different.
So when you go to the casino, you have to enter like a territory first, right? Or no? Is it just you just casually enter the casino?
Actually, you know what? I don't know 100% know because I know a lot of the casinos are built like in like city limits and stuff like that. But I know there's a lot of stuff in Oklahoma. Actually, I think there's a lawsuit about to be pressed or is trying to be pressed about the entire state of Oklahoma because it falls like on the Reservation Act and it wasn't ratified correctly. And if Oklahoma did fall under the Indian Reservation Act, then the state of Oklahoma is actually like belongs to like the Cherokee, I think. So yeah, that's an interesting lawsuit. That's either in the works. I remember reading about it, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's good. I don't know. Traveling, just living different shit. I don't know. It's helped me expand a lot. Once I learned that Texans and Cowboys, they dress up like Mexicans, right?
Why?
Because that's what Mexicans dress like, and like. It's just like it weeded itself into the U.S. You know what I mean? Like that's a Mexican style that like the Texas, Oklahoma, all the Cowboys, they like totally ripped it off. I never realized it. Like living in Massachusetts, I had no clue. Shit, I thought Oklahoma City was gonna be fucking teepees and fucking Buffalo and shit. I didn't even know there was a city there. Like,
yeah.
But when I came to the realization that Mexico City to Oklahoma City is about 12 hours closer than Boston, and I was like, yo, I might as well be a fucking illegal alien over here or something. Like I might as well be from another country, dude. Like this place is so different.
Damn, man. Yeah, I guess Cowboys really are just, a ripoff of Mexican.
Big time, man. That's what Tex-Mex is. It's Texas version of Mexican food, you know what I mean? And it just goes further north and just adapts and molds.
I know. And it's funny because we're all, we're white Europeans and we're all up in this, like, these native lands of these other people that were already all over here and stuff. If you really think about it technically, right? But our culture, our European culture has dominated for so many hundreds of years that it's given birth to people like you and I that feel like this is our place. I don't know who these other Indian people are or whatever it is, kind of attitude. Right. It's given birth to that. It's just time. It's just the natural order of things. I'm not sitting up here trying to like look racist or something weird. I know it's a weird, touchy topic. We probably move on to something else. But I mean, really, we were just talking about, your travels and stuff and like your life and stuff. And so like you were in the Air Force. I mean, you don't have to tell me anything about it if you don't want to, but I mean, like, so how long were you in there or whatever?
I was in the Air Force for 4 years, 2004 to 2008. And I worked the radar. I worked the radar scopes on AWACS jets. So I was air crew. I flew. I didn't pilot, but like I said, I was the radar operator. So I did air traffic control at 30,000 feet doing 400 knots. So mobile radar platform, shit like that. That's actually kind of that's kind of one of the things that not necessarily, like, I never really got into the flat earth fray. I mean, I did, but I don't know. I've always been reserved, and I'm sure if you've heard me before, like, I'm, I encourage everybody to do their own research into this shit. Okay, so back to my military time. Once I started like researching the flat earth concepts and ideas, I remember this thing on the plane. It was a thing called Beyond the Horizon Radar. Like, you could look this up, right? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I learned all about it, and the points in my manual were like, it works when the atmospheric conditions are conducive to the Beyond the Horizon radar. So effectively, it would shoot a radar beam, bounce off the atmosphere, and then bounce down around the horizon, then come back up and bounce off the same angle of the atmosphere back to the plane. And the thing that really bothered me is it worked every single time they pushed the button. And I'm like, that's really kind of sketchy. You know what I mean? So that kind of, like, I don't know. I had firsthand empirical knowledge and experience with this Beyond the Horizon stuff, and I'm like, it doesn't really make sense, because it never like broke up, it never disengaged, because atmospheric conditions changed, and nothing. It just always worked. It just always worked.
So you're talking.
And I was like,
you're talking about a ground-based signal being sent up?
No.
Okay, you're
flying.
So a signal being sent up from you while you're flying.
Yeah.
And you would hit what level of the atmosphere? I mean, you'd be above clouds or below clouds?
Right, right. And that's the problem with this is sorry, my phone's ringing at my parents' house. So the plane's flying and it's shooting the radar off the atmosphere, and then bounces down and hits something, right? And then bounces up and then hits the plane again. And my problem with it is that the plane's fucking moving. You know what I mean? Now, I know the signal is gonna still exist, but, like, what about the degradation of that? You know what I mean? Like, it's doing a lot of bouncing there, And just so it made more sense to me. I was like, well, what if it's just, like, flatter, or just not 100% round, or what if it looks like one of those 20-sided dices? I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I never really like subscribed to the NASA stuff. I was never really a NASA fanboy. Just because, I mean, I've been out here forever arguing this damn topic. I still think everybody should be hopping on that topic and just, I mean, consider flat Earth, yeah, but if you claim that, not you, but if people claim that this organization, this entity has the information and is giving false information, then inquiry should be at NASA, because they're the arbiters of truth at this point in the game. So that should be the focal point, but, like, the flat Earth stuff's like it's just away from the mark, Because
if you think about it, you're suggesting, well, not really suggesting, but you're talking about the idea that, okay, so this plane is moving and it's shooting a signal off, and then that signal has to go somewhere. So the signal's already degrading. Then it has to hit that point and bounce back. Now, when it's on its comeback, it's already lost even more strength, and it has to fan out and reach a plane that's now even further away from when it had been launched, and a completely different location.
It's closer, which means the angle has to be steeper to hit the plane, because the beam is so pointed, it stays in one direction for the most part. I mean, yeah, it does spread out over time, but it's a very pointed beam. And, so it would have to hit at a totally different angle to actually hit the jet.
Yeah, wow.
Unless there was...
I thought the signal would have to fan out to be able to reach these moving objects. I mean, like, you're talking about a beam.
That's the point. But that's what I'm saying. Like, when the Beyond the Horizon radar, you could look at this stuff's like on Wikipedia. This isn't anything like secret or anything like that. Beyond the Horizon radar is a pointed, strong beam that's essentially goes in one direction, right? And, like, there's little spacing. It doesn't really further away from its beam, so for the most part, it bounces off the horizon, hits a target, goes back up, and has to bounce at a different angle to meet the plane as it's moving.
Damn,
right?
Yeah.
That just seems like a problem to me. It just really seems like a problem to me. So it would make more sense if there was further line of sight.
Yeah, so, if there was flatness to make a more stable angle, a more predictable angle, right?
Right. Like, I just don't know what honestly, I have no clue what the shape of the Earth is, and for all of us out here in conspiracy land, like whatever. I think there's so much skullduggery on every single side that we can all agree that if there was one true thing, it would be evident, and there would be absolutely no holes you could poke into it. Can't make a conspiracy theory about planes flying. That would only work for blind people. That's it. And there's a serious flaw in their reality filter, you know? So, yeah. So if the evidence existed, it would be readily available, and everything would be there, which is why I think that, although I disagree with the flat Earth idea, I still think it should be searched out, but I think everybody should just be a bit more judicial in the statements and claims and proclamations that people make. Like, just really like look at evidence for what it is, and yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, like personally, I've found that like I'm only going to make definitive statements on flat Earth when it concerns things like, you know, oh, we've never touched the sun. We don't know the sun's there. Like I'm gonna say that's a fact. You know, like big deal.
I actually like that intangible argument. I mean, I could argue against it, but how I wouldn't be correct because I don't have the correct information. I don't think anybody has the correct information. All we know is that when that big bright thing's in the sky, things heat up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But does that really? What does that prove? What does that do?
I know.
You know, so.
I know I've been in it with some people lately, man. Like on Thanksgiving, I was talking to Rebel, and she just didn't. She was just fighting with me, and I'm like, no, you can't say that the sun itself is the same thing as the rays that are inside of this, you know, our atmosphere or whatever you want to call it. You know, that's what's affecting us. It's not physically the same thing. And she's like, no, it is the same thing, and she wouldn't hear it. And it's like, well, don't have such cognitive dissonance, you know. And the things that I say on this definitive level like that are things that are obvious that everyone has to agree to. In the long run, it's just that I try to point out aspects of them that might be shocking to people, or it might stir something in people, you know. But it's just something that's so fucking obvious that people forget it because they've taken for granted that the sun exists exactly the way they think it does, and then they hear all that TV reinforcement and high school, physics reinforcement, and they just believe something. And it was a perfect example, was to watch her and watch a whole bunch of other people out there just get all tripped up by when I say that the sun's not a tangible object. You know, they get so fucking triggered, bro. I mean, you've seen it. I know you've seen it.
Oh, dude, of course I've seen it. I mean, we know something's there. We can all agree something's there, but
yeah, I never say it doesn't exist. You know, I never say that.
Right, but no, I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. But the point is that even if it is what they say it is, we'll still never be able to touch it because we'll burn up before we get there. So, theoretically,
or see, that's a myth too.
Can't exist. It totally is.
How do we know that's even true? How do we know it's not just an incandescent bulb that's, you know, cleverly placed or something? You know, we don't really know what it is, man. And like, those are the kind of things I'll say definitively. We don't know what it is. And people, they get so pissed because I do know what the sun is because science books and Discovery Channel told me, you know, and that's literally all they have to go on. And I think that's foolishness. If you want to look at, you know, life and knowledge and the fact that, hey, you know, one day we're all going to die, you know, so you got to make life, you got to enjoy your life, whatever it takes. I mean, make sure that you make good by yourself, at least. You know, I'm not sitting out here saying, do as thou wilt or anything stupid like that. I'm just saying, like, try to have a good life, everybody, you know? And like, I think everybody shares that same sentiment. So this is a spiritual thing. And like, I feel like it's safe to journey down these paths intellectually, these flat earth ideas, all this stuff. I think it's a good way to spend someone's time. It's better that we're on here doing this than watching TV just for fucking 8 hours straight. Because there's people out there right now that got off work today already, and they're already in hour 6 of their nightly marathon. You know?
Yeah, dude. I got some family members that just showed up 2 days ago, and they're sitting in the other room with my parents watching TV, and I'd rather be out here doing this.
Right?
I haven't seen them in fucking probably a couple of years, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. You guys are boring.
Damn.
Oh, it happens, man.
I mean, life, like, you know, you gotta make it fun. You gotta make it good, you know. And it's better that we're spending our life doing this than doing something just complete waste of fucking time. I mean, it's like you can never go back, you know.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't unsee the things that you've considered, you know. And that's really what I think the biggest problem is. I think I want to try to break it down as simple as possible, right? Like, there's a reason that people accept authority figures, right? It's ingrained into us. It's inherent. It's like pointed dogs that are born and they've never been taught to point, but they know how to point because, like, for some reason or another, when you teach the parents of the litters, and they have litters and they have litters, and you keep teaching them the same thing, and then all of a sudden things change. Okay, well, there's a reason why we have this. There's a reason we have this allure to authority figures, because if we don't believe right away that the fire is hot, we're gonna jump in the fire as like a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old. Don't touch that, it's hot, it'll burn you. You don't know what the fuck that means. You might put your hand close and be like, oh wow, that's what she means. Okay, she's right. I think the issue is that some people still hold on to that, and they think that just because authority tells them it is this way, that it can't be accepted any other way. And they haven't asked, you know, is the fire hot? They get the answer, but they don't ask why it's hot, or they don't dig any deeper. They're okay with what they have, and they just don't dig. Like, people don't ask the right questions, and I think some of them just don't care. And I really think that the people that are out here exploring this, whether or not they're correct, whether or not they sound stupid, whether or not I sound stupid to people in the chat, which is, you know, likely, whatever. We're all out here asking the tougher questions. We are going beyond 99% of the people. Like, you know, when was the last time you talked to a normie that, like, all of a sudden, like, somebody you know is like, hey man, what do you think of that 9/11? You know what I mean? And, like, they go through and it's just like base level rudimentary type stuff that you've heard a million times, and you're like, dude, you are not learned in this arena at all. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a difference between people that, like, want to learn and get into these topics, these bigger, that I guess most of us would consider them the tougher questions to ask in life. You know,
so I mean,
what
so
don't
it
we
sounds
know?
to me,
What's being hidden? You know, shit like that.
yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like you're probably like how I was when I was little. I was constantly with questions, constantly questioning authority. Every single thing that I wanted to know why. I wanted to be all up in their system and know why the teacher had this and that plan for the class. I wanted to know why and what's the end goal, stuff like that. And they would never have it. They're just like, they thought I was troublesome, but then they said I was gifted and all this stuff, and put me in the advanced classes and stuff like that because they knew I was operating on a much faster rate than all the kids around me. But that's all I ever did was question authority ever since I was little, man. Like, I refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance one time when I was in 2nd grade because I had been listening to fucking Metallica and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I was literally in the fucking 2nd grade, and I'm like making political statements in my fucking elementary school and shit, bro. It's crazy. I was just that little shit. I was that little troll. I'm like a life troll, man. Like, I'm not saying you are, but I mean, that's how I was. But I feel like you have a little bit of that in you too, right?
I was class clown, man. Like, I'm that guy, dude. I'm not small. I'm 6'4". You know what I mean? Like, I'm big, I'm loud. I tell people what's up. I'm like, I don't know. I always have a good time doing it too. I've always, no, I can agree. I know what you're talking about. What I'm saying is, like, it doesn't matter if I was quiet. I'm big enough to where, like, I'm just like, I'm there. Like, I know, like, people notice me. No, I'm not saying like whatever like that. All right, let me just explain this real quick. Here's a quick story with this exact same topic. This dude Kevin, I was in the military with. We came up through training together. We came up through advanced training together, and we both got stationed in Oklahoma City. And we were both in the same squadron, right? So this is like 3 years into our first enlistment, and, like, in charge, I got a promotion. Made it to E4 before some of these guys, so I kind of had a little bit of. They put me in charge of a little crew of people or whatever, and probably like 2-3 months after this happened, where the fuck is Kevin? is Kevin on leave? And people were like, no, I saw him yesterday. He was here. I think I saw him at lunch, blah, blah, blah. So I called him up, and I was like, Kevin, what the fuck are you, dude? I was like, we need to go do some shit. And he's like, oh, man, thank God you called. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, you don't know? And I was like, you've been fucking AWOL, haven't you? Like, what have you been doing? And he woke up at the beginning of the day. He'd show up after lunch, and he would just take off. He lived 15 minutes away, and he would just, like, show up, and he was, like, 5 foot, like, even, probably, like, 100 pounds. And, like, he's like, Ed, you're a big dude. You can't, like, if people need things to be moved or, like, you know, physical labor, they're not coming to me. They're going to you. He's like, why do you think I'm always in the corner with the broom? Nobody needs me for anything. And he's like, I figured it out, and I skated, and I keep showing up, but nobody asks me, like, to do anything. And I'm like, okay, man, just get in. Hurry up. Get in here.
Damn, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. So
if he was
like,
ever to get
I'm
caught,
just big. I'm clumsy.
You're clumsy?
Oh, big time.
You're Polak, man. I'm clumsy too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he would have got. I think he would have got busted AWOL. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that would fit the. Like I said, he showed up in the morning, showed up in the afternoon, and he would just scoot and like. You know, I never like missed roll. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
he just knew the system, I guess. He skated.
Yeah, my dad. Man, there was something I was going to ask you, but man, it's fucking freezing. I'm outside in Florida, man. It's fucking freezing, man.
What's it, like 70 degrees?
No, it's like 40 something. Whew. That's cold for me, man. But see, down in Florida,
Nice.
it's a lot more of a wet cold, so it hurts. I mean, but no, Boston is like that too. There's a lot of moisture in the air.
I know all about it, man. It was like my first time I went up to Colorado Springs, and it snowed, and I was like, dude, this is amazing. Like, there was no moisture. It was all powder snow, and I was like, dude, I don't even have to break my ass to shovel. I'm like, I could live with this. All right. Total different climate situation.
So sorry, I was switching over, man. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
It's complicated, man. I'm freezing my fucking ass off, bro. It's wet cold down in Florida, man. So it just gets even the slightest cold, and it goes down to your bones, man. You can't like move your fucking hands after a while. Shit sucks, man.
Dude, I love that shit, man. I haven't seen snow in 5 years. The 4 inches of snow was enough for me to be like, okay, man, this is great. Enough.
Oh man. So I mean, you were fucking around, and what kind of stuff led you to Flat Earth? What kind of stuff on YouTube was it that ended up leading you down the rabbit hole?
There wasn't much at that time. I remember what the hell was the dude's name?
I mean, so you were looking at radar stuff, right?
Well, no, I have experience in radar. I got I guess you could call it a degree. It's like a technical degree in aerospace engineering from the Air Force or whatever. But so yeah, there's that. And like I got a 2-year music business and a 2-year, well, it's a bachelor's because it was an accelerated program, but with internet marketing.
Okay. So what instrument do you play in your band? Did you play in your band?
Oh, dude, I do everything.
Oh yeah.
I pretty much, yeah, dude. I figured it out. I spent a lot of time in music growing up, and like I joined the military late. I joined when I was like 24. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like a kid fresh out. Like I already like I blew my opportunities and made dumb decisions. Not just me, but you know, collectively in the band that I was in. And we had good opportunities. It just didn't pan out, and so it was like, what am I going to do now? You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it, I'm joining the military. I'm getting out of here. And, so I learned that, you know, through trial and error, I learned that I just write my own stuff and then I record my own stuff. I find a vocalist because I can barely speak English as it is, let alone sing and make people understand me. It don't work. Any Hoosier. So I find like a vocalist, and then once I press a record, I get it on iTunes and shit like that. And then that's when I find band members and be like, yeah, play this. Don't tell me you want to play something else. Play this. Here you go. And I just form bands and like we just play. And it's easy for people that like, it's a good way to get like talent. You know what I mean? Instead of having to slug it out and write and see if you're compatible with somebody, you get a product already done. And then you find people who just want to jump in and play something that's already produced. And
yeah, man, that's ideal. That's ideal, man. And that's how all the big shot singers, you know, like your Adam Levine or Gwen Stefani, any of these people, you know what I'm saying? They have the song, they have the producer, it gets recorded, and then they hire
writers,
and then the drummer plays that
typically
part.
a lot of the hits that you'll see like on the billboards and on the Grammys and shit like that, like you'll see like the same dude win like 10 Grammys for like songwriter of the year. I don't have the guy's name, but I remember it was like 2-3 years ago. The same guy got like 10 or 12 Grammys for like the songs that he wrote, and I was like, what the fuck, man? This guy's got the formula, you know? And like, so these people, like, they'll write a track and they'll sell the track to a label, and then the label will place the track. They'll have like a demo, you know, it's a demo with people, and like, then they'll just say, okay, we're going to re-record it, this and that, and they just redo the song. But like, yeah, shit like that. So it's a business. Like, obviously it's a business. It's a legit business. It's cutthroat too, man.
Well, yeah, I know. And the guy you're talking about, I believe, is Chris Stapleton.
I think that's who it is.
That dude is a fucking badass, bro. Have you heard his? I mean, that motherfucker has written songs for everybody and his own original shit. He's got 1.5 albums out right now. He's gonna come out with the second half of his second album here, like real soon, or he already just did in December. But that dude's a real deal fucking songwriter, and it's like blues, country. It's if you like that kind of stuff. If you're into country and stuff, it's like he's kind of like the new messiah of country because
I think it was the CMAs actually that I'm thinking about. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're talking about the right guy.
Yeah.
And the dude had tons of awards, and I was like looking at him, and I'm like, who is this dude? I've never heard of this guy in my entire life. And then I started digging up like his catalog, and I was like, holy shit. This dude's got it.
Oh man, this guy's the real fucking deal, bro. He's the kind of guy. Okay, I'm a lifelong musician. I've toured in Europe. I've toured up and down the East Coast. I've toured out west with bands. I've played thousands probably of gigs in my life. Maybe.
That's what's up, dude. Yeah, I've probably got about 1,000 under my belt too.
Yeah, maybe more like 1,000 and 1,500. So I don't know, somewhere along that. Like uncountable numbers of endless gig, year after year, night after night for years. I did it. You know what I'm saying? And then even in my later years, over the last 10 years, it's been like, you know, kind of like I was doing it like every Friday night for like 7 years straight, every Friday and Saturday night kind of thing also. So it's just countless, man. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I know I can play drums. I'm not the best at drums, but I'm really good at keeping to a metronome when I play drums. So I'm like super fucking solid with tempo. It's like key to me. People that have tempo issues, especially when they're on drums, I don't fucking tolerate it. Like I can't, it gives me such a headache to play with a drummer who fucking speeds up and slows down or doesn't get, you know, how like the riff will start at one tempo and the drummer comes in and he's just a completely fucking different tempo. And I'm just like, dude, you just took a shit over all these 40 people that are just watching us right now. You just made everybody in this room look stupid. Not just us. You made all the people watching us look fucking stupid.
Yeah, dude. When somebody fucks up in your band, you get those feels, and you're like, oh man, I look like a fucking clown right now. Yeah, dude, big time. But yeah, this drama guy that I'm working with right now, I've been working with him for like the past like 5-6 years. He doesn't even play with a monitor or, you know, he plays with any monitors, but he doesn't play with the music in it. He just puts the click in his ear and he just goes. He knows all the stuff, and like I program it on like in my DAW, and like he learns it. You know, I mean, he helps sometimes too, but most of the time it's usually just like I'm like, yeah, I wrote the whole fucking song, learn it. You know what I mean? I don't care what feeling, whatever. Like they're happy that they're playing in like a good metal band, I guess. Whatever, I am too. I can't complain. It's a mutual dependency.
I mean, that's awesome, man. I mean, so you're writing metal stuff too?
Yeah, it's pretty much my go-to. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, we got fucking A4 in the chat. We got Gem Panda. We got They Lie Ohio. We got Hoot Ube. We got Charlotte. Who says 40 people? Whoop, next Madison Square Garden. No, I've played in front of all kinds of fucking people. I played at the Warp Tour, the southern leg of the 2002 Warp Tour with my band, and we got to play on the main stage 3 out of the 6 days that we did, and then we were hanging out backstage with 311 and all that bullshit. And it was just good times.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And
That's cool.
But then
yeah.
when we played the Orlando Fairgrounds, because we were huge in Orlando at that time, when we were playing the fairgrounds and we had the local stage of the Warped Tour, it was like there was the 2 Big Daddy stages, and then there was this third stage that was more mobile, not quite as big as those, but it was actually a much more badass stage, you know, for like a gig, you know.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't so fucking high and you know, monolithic and shit, but it was intimate, but it was huge, but it was a little bit more intimate, and the crowd had a chance of getting up there and stage diving bullshit like that. I don't think they'd let anybody do it, but it was one of those stages where you could have if you were allowed to. And so we played in front of that, and we had what was it? I don't remember how many hundreds of people and shit, but it was just as far as the eye could see, because everybody knew us and they knew our fucking shit. And we were like the local heroes, you know. And every time we would play in downtown Orlando, we'd fucking sell out the shit. We actually set the fucking record for the Hard Rock Live for local attendance and some shit like that.
Shit,
a couple
dude,
times.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know what it's like to be in a band and rock out. And I had a couple drummers I worked with in my life that were good enough, but you know, it's all about especially with metal. Oh man, oh my God, it's all about that drummer playing with absolute fucking precision. No joking around. The drummer, especially with metal, it all starts with the drums. I mean, the guitars and the bass are basically an extension of the drums in metal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially where it's gone nowadays. If your drum is not solid, then you might as well just hang it up. You might as well just be playing like Pantera riffs or something like that. It doesn't let it be.
You might as well just be covering fucking Master of Puppets in the garage and shit, right?
Yeah, dude. Like, you know, so yeah, you better have no serious aspirations if your drum is terrible, like, or unless you're playing like butt rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some sloppy punk shit. You know, you're doing covers of like covering the Exploited and shit, right?
Right. Yeah,
doing covers of fucking.
Yeah, man. After I got out of the military, I played in a few bands locally. We did some local Midwest touring, which is fucking whatever. Who cares? That's no big deal.
Yeah, but it's awesome. See, those instances I was telling you about, those were like a couple freak instances where we had a lot of like menial, like short success, you know, and stuff like that. But overall,
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Overall, we didn't have any like huge success or anything, or sell records, or fucking get famous, or get appearances anywhere. We just had a couple really badass big gigs, and you know, a lot of times when a bigger band would come into Orlando, we would be the band that would open up.
Right, because you got the talent. See, this is why the people that I'm working with they're okay with me writing the stuff, because like I write it, I get it done. You know what I mean? And when I pass it off to them, I don't just pass the track to them. I pass them like the tablet. Like I make sure I write everything out too. And I'm like, here's the drum parts, like on a fucking staff. You know what I mean? Or like the guitarist. And I'm like, here's the second guitar part, or the bassist, same thing. You know what I mean? And I even have like the vocal. You know, the lyrics like in specific notes where they hit and all types of shit, dude. I go way too deep into this stuff. So, but it's good because when the nationals come around, like we're like the go-to, and we don't even play. Like we've gotten to the point we only play national acts that pass through OKC, because everybody's older, and we all have rapport with the promoters and stuff like that. So. Yeah, with a go-to, it's pretty good, man. It's there's a lot of benefit to having a little bit of talent in the Midwest, and especially in those markets.
Nice, man. I mean, what kind of metal are we talking about here? Are we talking about techno metal, or are we talking about Gynt or something crazy, or are we talking about death metal?
I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's technical. I'll send you a link, dude. I got stuff on the internet, dude. And on YouTube and stuff. I came up in the Boston scene when before metalcore happened, and that's when like everybody was trying to get that tone that Killswitch came out with. Essentially, everybody was trying to go for that. Just people were hit and miss. You know, I've played with some bigger bands that made it out of Massachusetts, and like I said, we had opportunities with that band. We toured the East Coast a couple times, and we just playing like local clubs up and down from Florida to Maine, and it was still some of the best times of my life. And that
Definitely,
opportunity, yeah, once that opportunity floundered, and then the music scene kind of took I don't know, it like turned on a dime like in 2004, and like everything changed kind of, you know, and like new metal came out, and it was like a thing, and I was like, ugh. And after that, I was just like, yeah, after that band broke up, I didn't want to like go back and like rebuild it and do all that extra shit, and I was like, yo, I'm out of here. I'm joining the military. It was the best decision I ever did in my life, dude. But yeah, when I got out of the military, I ended up opening my own recording studio. I essentially bought a house and converted my home like into a recording studio where I had like independent rooms and everything was snaked and had a control center and shit like that. And like instead of, you know, it was a house, so I set up like cameras instead of, you know, cutting a hole in the wall and putting a glass fucking thing so I could look through. I was like, yeah, I don't care about that. So I would set up like CCTV cameras, like really cheap ones. And I would just get like 4 cameras routed to one TV, and I could see what everybody was doing, and I could just patch myself through to what they were doing. You know, I could just talk to them, shit like that. So it was pretty cool, man.
Awesome.
I ran that for a while. I'm pretty much out of it right now. I don't have any. Well, not really out of it, but I do light work here and there. There's a dude I know that I ended up working with, where like he gets me overflow audio editing work from a couple different studios, and like he gets me money. It's cool. It works.
Yeah.
So really, yeah, I don't have anything going on until like mid-January, late January. I think it's like another rap rock country album or something like that. It's disgusting. I hate it. That's the reason I don't listen to music anymore, dude. I've listened to so many bad records for so long working in audio, like working studio work. People think like that's like a good job, and it's just like, take the worst song you ever heard in your entire life, listen to it for 30 fucking days, 8 hours a day, have fun. I can do it.
Yeah,
well, a lot of people can. So when I go on long like car rides and stuff, like I've driven from North Carolina to OKC a few times where like my radio never turns on at all, and it's just silence, and I'm like, yes, this is fucking great.
No, dude, I'm totally with you, man. Like after a certain point, man, I just basically stopped listening to music for fun anymore that much, you know. And so,
yeah, it turns into a job, man. Really.
well, I mean, what I find myself doing is looking up really, really old music, like old timey shit, and you know, getting in the mood and everything, and putting some headphones on or putting it loud on the TV when I'm just by myself. I just blast old fucking music, you know, like Peter Gabriel, and then I'll cut to like Shaka Khan, and then I'll cut over to like Michael Jackson, then I'll cut over to like Slayer. I'm serious, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And then I'll just,
dude, it's weird. Like I play all kinds of crazy metal, dude, and like I don't even listen to it because I'm like, I really don't like it too much. And like that's really me saying like, oh, I really don't like this stuff that I write, but I love the stuff I write, and I hate everybody else's shit. But like, I don't know, man. I frequently find myself listening to like Weezer. You know what I mean? Like I'll listen to like some classical music. I found myself enjoying country western songs from the 1950s a lot lately. That's something that's been sticking in my head real hard because I figured I'd embrace the cowboy shit because I live in Oklahoma. So what the fuck? Give it a try.
yeah, some of that music is really moody and fucking good. It's like really.
It's good stuff. It's real good stuff. It's good. It's good, like sitting in your garage drinking beers on a Saturday afternoon, working on power tools and doing woodwork stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that music is like some of that old western shit has like serious atmosphere to it. You know, it can really.
All right.
If like after a long day, fucking open up the windows. You got the beer, whatever it is that you're doing. Crank that shit up, and just let it, you know, let it ride. Sometimes it's really soothing, man. There's some good fucking old country music out there, bro. I never liked country growing up, but my woman kind of got me into it and showed me the beauty of country music. And she even showed me all this old classic stuff. And I was like, damn, some of this shit is so fucking musical and badass. Cause I mean, I grew up on metal and thrash and punk. And over time, my musical ability, actual ability with musical notes and melody and stuff like that has just grown exponentially because I started caring about it. I started caring about vocals and stuff like that. I never even used to care about vocals when I was younger, but now I appreciate all these different aspects of music and some of the country music that exists out there, that old timey shit. is very fucking musical, man, and like very gratifying to like that part of my brain that wants to trip out on melody and stuff, you know, especially with like the steel guitar work and shit like that. Shit's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Some of those fucking dudes are so talented. It's like mind blowing. It's like this guy's like the Mozart of fucking steel guitar over here and shit, you know. But anyway.
Yeah, dude. When my parents moved out to North Carolina, they moved out here in like 2007, and I came out to visit them. And my father was like, "Yo, you gotta come with me to this fucking barbecue food place," and I was like, "To eat barbecue?" I was like, "I know all about Lexington fucking barbecue sauce, dude. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "No, you gotta check out these dudes. Like every Tuesday night, there's a bunch of like old blue hair Bettys that go to this restaurant and eat, and like they wear big hats and shit. And there's like these bluegrass bands that are absolutely tearing ass and doing like 4-part harmonies, and like it's like banjo players like just absolutely burning up. And I'm like, oh my god, what are these dudes doing? Like, how much blow are they doing before they do this?
Right, shredding the violin like it's Dimebag Darrell on violin and shit.
Yeah, dude, like I had never been exposed to that shit growing up in New England, and like, yeah, I don't know, just experiencing all the different shit. I'm just like, wow, was I really closed off back in the day? Like, I gotta figure it out, you know? Like, I was a crusty fucking metal dude. Like, I wore like cut off fucking camo fucking pants and turned them into shorts type shit. Always had a death metal shirt on, fucking hair down the middle of my back, shit like that. Like,
bro, I was sunglasses at night, trench coat mafia metal, dude. You know, basically, kind of. You know what I'm saying? And me and my friends were fucking hardcore, bro. We listened to fucking death metal and shit, and we had like the scariest possible metal shirts you could find and shit, and we'd wear them to school. You know what I'm saying? The bloodiest. We'd wear Cannibal Corpse shirts and shit to school. And sometimes they'd be like, "You can't wear that. You can't wear that. You know, butchered at birth and shit like that."
Yeah. Tomb of the Mutilated, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Tomb of the Mutilated. But fuck, man, what was I gonna say? I don't know. Damn it, man, we were on something. Fuck. Oh well. Oh no. Here's the thing. That's part of, because you're young and we're full of rage hormones. We're young men, so we polarize to the metal, and metal does have a lot of musicality to it, but it's really sharp and cutting and complex musicality. So it sounds intelligent to us, and you know that's why a lot of guys that like. I'm not saying everyone metal fans are smarter people, but like your smarter people will like better music, and metal, old school metal and stuff is actually really complicated shit. It takes a lot of skill to execute metal the right way. A lot of skill, and that's why. Right. So it's only natural. And then as we get older, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think the thing with metal music, especially nowadays, is that it's really the only music that breaks away from the 4/4 or 3/4 fucking monotony that pop music is, and pretty much 90% of all music is. And to actually understand it, it's a real niche, like music genre. You know what I mean? Because there's like a lot of different time changes and stuff, especially if people are doing stuff like that. Like, you really have to know music to actually even follow along. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
People I've seen a couple memes where it's like the South Park ski instructor, where it's like, if you're trying to listen to Meshuggah and clap, you're gonna have a bad time or something like that, because if you don't understand, like, if you don't understand what 11/16 is, then you're not really gonna pick up on what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Or like 4/3.
Well, pretty cool. Yeah, let's go.
No. Wait, what was it? Was it 5/3 time and shit like that? Oh god. No, I'm just kidding. No, but 5/4.
There you go.
Anyways, that's why I used to listen to that complex death metal, because you would have to know when the downbeat is. You have to listen to the song and get familiar with the songs. They were so complex, so many time changes. But once you knew what was going on, and you knew in your mind where the cutoff point is and where this new section starts and what tempo it's going to be at, stuff like that, if you can grasp things on that level, then yeah, you are very musical. And that's what in the early stages, the band that I had that success with, that was more traditional. We didn't get too complex, but we had little, punk and thrash band on the side, and only some of the guys were in that. And that's where we would fuck around and do, crazy time signatures and all that stuff.
Right. I've always dreamed about. I'm serious about this. I've always dreamed about this because, like, I would consider myself pretty laid back and all this other bullshit. But when I get up on a stage, I turn into a fucking ham sandwich. And anybody that I've ever played with knows not to put a microphone in front of me because I will fucking rip people up. I'll ruin shows. I'll talk over the singer. I don't care. I want that goddamn attention when I'm on stage. Like, and what I want to do is I want to do like a rock band type thing, where it's just all based on sexual innuendo, and like most of it's done on like an electronic loop. So there's no work involved, and it's nothing more than just play, right? Check out the name, right? The name is called Glitterous. Glitterous. So I want to have like glitter guns and shit like that, and like David Bowie makeup. I'm dead serious. I think that would be a hit. Singing falsetto the whole time. Have a good time with it, right?
Yeah. Make it all fucking just like funk hop beat, right?
Exactly. Just make it easy, cheesy, lemon squeezy, dude. Like, that's it. Like, just have fun with it. So, because like metal music and stuff like that, you can have fun with it if you're like a virtuoso. But I mean, like, that shit is difficult. Like, I spent months learning other people's records. Like, I played fill-in shows before where, I go, somebody's like, oh, dude, we need a guitarist for this fucking gig and blah, blah, blah. And they'll call me up and, hey, man, you want to play this fucking show? We're going to play with fucking Soulfly or something. I'm like, yeah, man, all right. Well, how much time we got? And they're like, oh, we got a month and a half. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like learning their record. And I'm like, God damn, fuck, man. Like, but I get it. I get it. But still, like, the shit is like, it's time intensive. It's not like I'm just going to sit down and pick it up. Like, I have to memorize like 30 different parts in a 3-minute song. It's fucking tough.
Yeah, that's serious work. Learning another artist that's on that level. That's like step in and sit in for Slayer real quick. Just learn Kerry King's parts real quick.
Right.
Like that one guy.
Do that in a couple of days, bro. We're gonna show. Yeah.
Oh God, man. I mean, I've always dreamed of hopping on bass for DRI, but it'll never happen.
Right. Bass is a guilty pleasure of mine, dude. I've played bass in a couple different bands, and like I've never had more fun because bass is so easy, dude. It's so easy for me, at least.
Yeah. I mean, it could be made into a monster, but I mean, it can also, you could just rock out.
Of course.
Fucking, take it easy on the bass and really ham it up and shit. But bass was always my specialty, man. I mean, I could play drums. When I play drums, I'm real solid, but I'm nothing spectacular. I could play guitar, but really only basically, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth. No leads, really. I'm not really a lead player, but I can do like a lot of the high licks, and I'm really solid on rhythm, electric guitar. I'm not that great with acoustic guitar. I mean, I could do the chords and make it sound okay and everything, but I'm no acoustic guitar expert at all. But bass really was really where my skills have always laid, and that's what I really love.
Bass is so much fun, dude. Because you can hang in the pocket, you can tiptoe along, you can do all kinds of things, man. The reason I say bass is easy, especially for metal, is I'm playing essentially what the guitarist is playing at half speed because there's no room for bass in metal, like Mudvayne.
Yeah.
And then other than that, the bass player is like the focal point, and the guitar player just sits in the back and chills, So,
yeah.
But yeah, dude, I have a good time with it. Like, I have a real good time with it. Like I said, dude, I turn into a ham sandwich on the stage. Dude. I love it.
Man, see, I would have never known all that stuff unless we would have talked about it. All about your musical past and stuff.
I sent you a link on one of those other hangouts that we have. That's a show we did that I redid the audio, so it's not live. Like, none of it's live except for the beginning. So I rebuilt it in my studio, and like I made sure to put a snare drum hit on every single snare drum that the drummer was playing, and I had cameras in different angles, so I could sync the audio and then sync the video, and then it all worked out.
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
That album's up on iTunes right now. And we're writing another one as soon as I get home next week. Well, and we're not writing it next week, but I'm getting back into the groove of things. And I have a group of dedicated people that want to actually get back into it.
That's awesome.
And do it because we have a lot of opportunities ahead of us that we already know is like fucking confirmed, and we just need to like get the shit together and get ready to start playing some shows. Really is all it is.
Man, that sounds like so much fun, man. You know, if I lived up by you, you could pretty much count me in to be your guy on bass, bro, if you needed a bass player.
Right? That's what I kind of do, actually.
Well, I'm way the fuck down here, man. But I mean, like, I'm that guy, man. I'm that guy. I got all the fucking gear. I got all the bass gear I could ever need. Yeah, man, that would be nothing but good times for me because I love that shit, man. And I never really got to really play bass guitar in like a straight up metal band. I never really, in my whole life, I never got the opportunity to do it steadily. Well, I guess I did at one point, but we was kind of like rap rock. It wasn't like metal. It wasn't like speed metal with breakdowns and fucking thrash riffs and shit.
Right. Yeah.
It was always it was pretty much when I was in a band that was like that or two bands like that, I was on guitar, rhythm guitar. But I mean, however, being a fan of all that music, all I used to do when I was little, and this is a lot about how I learned about how the notes work together, was I would play the bass along to all the Metallica albums, all the fucking Slayer albums, all the fucking Anthrax albums. I would try to emulate, you know, and I would listen and listen. And as I got older, I heard more and more stuff. I could hear what the bass players really doing, and I like finally started to grasp what's really going on. And I just keep teaching myself. And I sit there and play like whole fucking Anthrax albums on bass and shit like that, you know, or whole fucking Metallica.
I did the same thing, man. I started out trying to figure out like Pantera, Slayer, and Metallica stuff, and
yeah,
you know, I'd pay attention to. Oh, I have to downpick everything. Okay, thanks, James Hetfield, you're fucking me up for the rest of my life. Like,
yeah, yeah, but that's how metal really works. It's this different art. It's really guitar playing, but it's its own art, man. It's on a different instrument.
Yeah, playing riffs it's not musicality. It really isn't. You know what I mean? Like, if you get a blues guy and he sits in and he's like, yeah, dude, I just, I'll play to what you guys are doing. You start playing riffs and he's like, I don't know. I have no idea what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a totally different thing. That's why I'm saying, like, metal itself, it's a real niche market. And like, you're really playing to people that know how to count musically. And yeah, that's why it's so small, I think, honestly.
And you also got to cater to people that appreciate those tones and those musical philosophies of using the electric guitar as more of like this kind of a keyboard or not a keyboard, but kind of like a synthesizer.
Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on.
Let's see what's going on over here in the live stream. Shill Scanner with the Russian accent. Oh, wait, no, that's not Shill Scanner. Or is that? I think it is. I'm not sure. Yeah, D-Lees, good to see you. Let's see. Schlominger, Shumanati, giving the shout out. We got Daylight, Ohio, still chilling. He says he's getting into ambient stuff. Oh, man. We got, wow, you guys are going in there. Andres, we got Pet My Cat with those two. Man, we're just taking it easy. We got Rob S. We're just taking it easy on Validation Boy live stream on this Monday evening. Getting to know Ed UpsideDownHead a little bit better, Just chilling. We got This Scarecrow talking about Shock the Monkey. Fanny Linzer says, you're pretty hardcore, BB. Thanks. This Scarecrow says Shock the Monkey, which is a fantastic fucking Peter Gabriel song. A fantastic Peter Gabriel song. You just rip a couple and fucking put that song on some headphones as loud as you can without blowing your head out, your fucking eardrums out. And you fucking listen to Shock the Monkey by Peter Gabriel. And it's musicality. It's music galore. There's so much damn musicality going on in that fucking song with all the synthesizers and all the shit that if you really get what the artist was trying to put over, you can really have your mind blown with some of this 80s pop music out there and some of this metal music out there too. But you just got to know about metal. Our Kickopter X, there's a live discussion. I don't know. Fanny Lanza has joined us. Synonym has joined us. Chilling. Charlotte's with us. Jampanda. You know, we're taking it extra easy. Chris Fisk has even joined us. Has his solo record up on YouTube. Man, I don't know. I might have to end this show soon. Keep it under 2 hours tonight. I think that's what I might end up doing here a little bit. If I can get Ed back in here. Man. Making sure all you guys in the chat can hear me. See what we got going on this week. There wasn't much. I saw some people, Sun and Moon Group, talking about how Mark Sargent has gone AWOL. I don't know if that's really true, but Mark feels bad because everybody was trashing the way he had handled his time with the astronaut. And Sun and Moon Group says that none of you guys would fare any better, and what he did was actually very smart because he made Flat Earth look good by being a gentleman on TV, handling himself. And they compared this to the way that Charles Johnson, some guy from, I guess, the Flat Earth Society, was dealt with by Wally George. And Wally George was a crazy show. I used to watch when I was a little kid. I used to watch Wally George show. And a lot of the stuff on the show didn't even make sense to me, but I just knew that the guy was like really hardcore into the politics. And he would say stuff that would make me think. And I was a little kid, you know. I guess I was being programmed with conservative fucking propaganda ever since I was tiny. But you know, the Sun Group were saying that look what they did to this guy, and look what they did, and this might be what they do to Mark Sargent. Did you see any of that, Ed?
Are you talking about the astronaut interview? Is that what you were talking about?
Well, you saw that with Mark in the astronaut interview?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, did you see what Sun and Moon Group's reaction to it?
I didn't.
Okay, they made a reaction video.
I heard what you were talking about how he blew an opportunity and all that. But then again, if you consider Mark Sargent to be an entry level on this whole stuff, then he didn't do bad, I guess, per se. But then again, I still have my own issues with Mark Sargent's position, how he's been here for years and he's never changed a single fucking sentence of rhetoric, which is odd, to say the least. But hey, whatever. I don't know what he's got going on.
Well, I mean, there's definitely branding wars going on in Flat Earth. And see, the thing is, you know, I don't know if you know this about me or not, exactly, or per se. I don't know. I'm not sure how much. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But my whole outlook is Flat Earth conservatism, and I don't think that Mark or anybody should be on any mainstream channel at all talking about Flat Earth at all to the mainstream masses. I think it should be.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that because if it went mainstream, then what does that really mean? You know what I mean? Like that all it does is it floods the whole thing with just people who aren't caught up to speed. The information would get watered down, I guess. I don't think I agree. I don't think it would be a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. It invites all the wrong kind of attention to it. What needs to happen is that Flat Earth had a good thing going, man. It was this secret thing that was, you know, burgeoning in this little secret part of the fucking internet on YouTube and little communities and stuff, and it was slowly expanding. And like you had to kind of not really be initiated into it, but you had to like pay your dues. And if you really wanted to know about Flat Earth, you had to sit through a lot of stuff and really get your head around it. You couldn't just, I saw this thing on Flat Earth.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. What I'm saying, you couldn't just.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta put in your due diligence. That's why I've said a few different times that like the research is the rite of passage. It really is. I mean, once you get to a point where you've researched all the things and you've found all the arguments that exist out there, and then it's like now you can really shape an argument that's better than most of the people who haven't gone that far yet. You know what I mean? And like when these people get on the Hangouts and they actually say things like, if the Earth was flat, you could see from New York to France and it's like, what? Why are we disregarding everything now? Like, all science is off the fucking table.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And that's the thing. Well, no, that's the thing. That's why I say that we got to be conservative about it. We don't, we want to, it's got to be a slow thing that grows very gradually so that it doesn't put itself out there to just be slaughtered, put itself out there to be humiliated like that. Because then it makes someone like me who's like, in my life, I have friends that I talk about it with, and I'm sometimes slowly trying to win them over with the idea, or maybe, at some point in my life, maybe I was doing that. And to have the mainstream pick up this thing that I was telling to my friends, talking to my friends about, making them think about all kinds of stuff with this idea. Now all that's taken away from me and taken away from us because my friend gets the Reddit review fucking version of it where they just trash it,
Yeah, it's like all the junk arguments. It's all the common consensus arguments. It's none of the deep stuff that actually really matters.
Yeah, it's just a big mockery. And I believe that the flat Earth belief system is more of a personal internalized thing. It shouldn't be this thing that people are out there like running, telling people in the streets, "Oh, the Earth is flat," and showing everybody and all this. I think it's more of an internal thing that it should be more of an experience. It should be more of like, okay, there's a to me, it's something like, I'd rather be a guy that walks around thinking it's a possibility that the Earth is flat, and then using that as a platform to always keep expanding my mind instead of just trying to find out if it's flat or not and just move on to the next thing. I don't think that makes sense because I don't think that we really can find out if the Earth is flat or not. I don't think that that's possible, exactly. Like you were saying earlier. Like you're saying.
Exactly. I don't think we possess the faculties, and I don't think we possess the faculties on the other side of it either. And that's why I argue for, I don't know, keep an open mind on the whole damn thing, because you can't make a real argument because the issue, like the concrete evidence doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think people should be conservative with it. I don't think people should be out there having conferences. I don't think people should be out there making money off it. I don't think there should be like famous faces. There shouldn't be famous faces.
All right. Hey, VB, I need another 2 minutes. I'll explain when I get back. Carrie, you got it.
All right, man. All right. Chris Fisk says, we will never know any more than we do now. It's true. We won't ever know any more than we do. I mean, flat Earth is something that is, to me, an inward journey. I'd rather use it as a platform to branch off to other arenas of thought than to be someone who shuts it down one way or the other. I like to say that I'm a flat Earth dogmatist because knowing what we do know, and I look at obvious visual evidence in front of me, it appears flat. And just to be brazen, I do say I'm a flat Earth dogmatist. And it hurts the feelings of fucking bums like Brenda Von Assen and Mark Taylor, Curved Water, Slice Barkane, and you name it, a whole list of fucking morons, Red's Rhetoric, who fucking think that the fucking Earth is a globe and that everything NASA has ever produced is true. That's just complete ignorance from them. Shill Scanner says, VB, stop shaking. You're making me nervous. I can't stop, man. I'm high energy, bro. I'm a high energy dude.
Here we go.
Okay, I got you.
All right, yeah, dude. Sorry, and yeah, everybody else, whatever. Yeah, no. I'm out at my parents' house. My pops had cancer surgery. He had a fucking tracheotomy, right? So I've been taking care of him. This is what I do when he gets sick because he's had cancer a few times. So every time it happens, I come out and so I'm like seasoned at this shit. Yeah, he's hanging out with my uncle right now, and he should be asleep doing his thing, and he needed me to do some shit for him. So yeah, family first type stuff. But yeah, he's good. So whatever.
That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, of course, man. Family first.
Yeah, I don't want to get into any details because they're not pretty whatsoever. So
no, I know, man. I know. My dad actually had cancer. Yeah, died several years ago. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about to quit here smoking. So.
Yeah, I did when I came out here, man. I was like, dude, I can't do this no more, you know. So yeah, watching this stuff, and I'm like, ooh, bro, yeah, I don't want to end up like that. That's too much. We'll see how long quitting lasts, though. So we'll see. It's been about a month.
Yeah. Dang, good for you, man. So I mean, yeah, I just wanted to get you on, man, get the fucking my fan base, you know, some personal time with Ed UpsideDownHead, you know.
That's what's up, man.
Everybody get to hear your side of things, get to know more about where you stand on all the conspiracy issues and that kind of stuff. You know, like your views on flat Earth. I'm always interested to hear.
I occupy a small, tiny little niche in conspiracy land. I probably think way different than everybody, dude. But I'm okay with it, having my own ideas, my own views. Because the bitch of it is 90% of the time I agree with both sides, and I'm just like, yeah. And then there's this other thing you guys haven't asked yet, and I'm like, yeah. And it just puts me nowhere because I don't make any like determinations. And I say it's definitely like this. I'm just like, well, what about this other shit? And then it just throws wrenches. Like I remember Jim Panda when I first started getting into like debates with him and shit. And he's like, Ed, I don't know how to even take you. He's like, you agree with me, and then you tell me I'm wrong, and then you agree with me. He's like, what are you doing? I don't understand. And I'm just like, well, you're not incorrect sometimes, man. I'm like, you know, just I don't know. I just like I like to think that I'm actually out here for truth, even though I really do enjoy trolling. Don't get me wrong. So, you know, troll hard, troll long, but I am out here looking for information and knowledge, and to actually like expand my arguments, to expand my ideas, and to really like, I don't know, solidify my own concepts and ideas.
I know it's so hard though, man, because we're in an arena where like the craziest fucking shit gets brought up, man. You know?
I know, right?
I mean, like, let me get your take on my recent proposal about the worship of Gaia and worship of the globe being really symbolic of the worship of the pregnant belly, and hence like a hidden gynocracy that exists in this world.
It's the Earth Mother, yeah.
Right, Mother Earth, right?
Yeah.
See, because I was listening to some other stuff today, and then I was talking with one of my bosses, you know, at the end of last week, and I was like, you know, and he said something, or somebody else said something like, basically, the system that people stand against when we go against the system and when we're anti-conformists, it, in a roundabout way, that system is kind of women, or the gynocracy in a weird kind of way, or that's that tendency in our society, the way our society tends towards favoritism of the feminine, and that's what the system really is.
Of course it is.
Not women per se, but it's really like that divine feminine kind of bullshit that gets pumped out there, and that's the way the society is heading. That's how leftism and all the Marxism is all creeping in, you know. And so, really, when it comes down to being going rogue against the system, you're really kind of going rogue against the feminine, I guess, right?
Right. I look at this argument a little different. I think there's validity to the feminist argument. However, I think it stopped in like the 1970s. Like second wave feminism was all about like, hey, if I want to do these shitty jobs that you guys do, then I should be able to. If I want to serve in the military, then I should be able to. Respectably, I can see that. I can agree with that, even though I still understand family households, you know, roles individuals play inside of the family, blah, 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 blah. However, there exists third wave feminism, and third wave feminism is absolutely nothing more than dominance over men. That's all it is. And the bitch of it is that it's been absolutely eaten up by the social justice warrior movement. So it's perverted itself. it's not even about promoting feminism. It's about promoting anybody that wants to be feminine. You see what I'm saying? Like when, all right, for instance,
promoting the divine feminine instead of just actual women into equality, instead of taking women from this excuse me, supposed oppressed position. Excuse me. You know how we do on validation, boy. Woo! But instead of taking women from this supposed position of being oppressed by a patriarchy, even though women have had it in the West, they've had it easier than any fucking group of people have ever had it in the history of the fucking world, okay? Red carpet fucking rolled out for them because they're female and shit. And they want to say,
right.
oh, no, we're going to break out of that. And now, instead of getting equal with men, like you're saying, like second wave feminism, getting equal with men, okay, you can see there's some logic behind it, there's some reasoning behind it, okay. Now they've taken it to the next fucking level, and they're just crushing anything that is male or masculine. They mock you for being macho. They mock you for wanting to be a man, and like, oh, you guys need me to lift that fridge and move that fridge for you? I got you. Oh, look at him, man. You know, like what is going on here?
Yeah, second wave feminism essentially was, oh, women and children first. What if I don't want to go first and I want to put other people in front of me? Okay, I get that. I understand that. I totally get it, right? But what is wrong with people wanting to put women and children first? If doesn't that scream, these are the most precious things to us? We will give our lives for these things. And why is that bad? You understand what I'm saying? Like that type of concept. Like besides the fact that that it's always a woman that gives birth miraculously to a god, and that woman in every single religion that gives birth to whatever god is treasured and cherished. Why is this bad? You know what I mean? Like, how come I don't understand that? Like, because of like mating rituals of people, like they essentially determine the genetics that pass. You know what I mean? Like, if you really want to look at it like that, like, when people are trying to pass their genetics down, this is like this is an inherent fucking trait. People want to bang and procreate. This is what the fuck we do. And like women are the ones that have more in that, and like they're almost like doing themselves in. They're misconstruing their whole argument because it's getting to the point where it's like,
well, I mean, let me jump in
they don't want equality. They want dominance.
Exactly. They want dominance. They don't want equality. They want dominance. And here's the thing. Before I lose it, it's not, those things are not bad, wanting to protect the Mother Mary and stuff like that. But the thing is that the women today are not Mother Teresa. They're not Mother Mary. They're not they're Sally the hoe down the street that, everybody, whatever. That's the difference. And the women today are, a lot of them, I mean, most of them, because of the Kim Kardashian Twitter culture that exists, most of the girls and women these days that are in the available range for, mating and all that stuff that people do, they're all pretty much bound to be single mothers by choice. And they are all parasitic. A lot of them are just basically parasites, bro. And they're like dangerous. And that's why a lot of men are just not having it no more. A lot of men are running away from all these women, man. And they keep exposing, they keep exposing these women on TV, on these Dr. Phil shows and stuff, and people still just don't understand. And it's just like this blind worship of the female that happens in our society. And that's the problem, is that it's been pushed on to where, just by default, if it comes down to his word versus her word in any situation, it's always the woman's word.
Well, most of the time it's the woman, but I mean, if it's just a he said, she said is more powerful.
Definitely. You typically. And that's just the way society is now. And see, that's the way that the government has demoralizing the men and breaking down men. They don't want men here. Men are independent. Men fucking do shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's that masculine mindset, the creativity, the ingenuity. Those are the things that they want to suppress. They want collectivism. They want everybody gets a fucking honorable mention trophy. They want fucking all that shit. That's what they want. They want everybody collect. They want a brave new world where there's like group A, group B, group P, and group X. Yeah. Shit,
And the third wave feminism, like I said, they're not just about equality anymore. It's not about gender equality. It's about gender dominance now, right? And like I said, they're trying to push feminine no matter where it is, even if it's like the trans agenda, dude. All right, consider this for a second. Like trans dudes or men, women, whatever the fuck you want to call them, in female sports, they're all jacked up on estrogen, right? And they're not taking roids like the fucking women that are doing these bodybuilding things, and they're still crushing because there's just differences. You know what I mean? Like, essentially, the way you got to look at it, it's like, it's the reason. Like, I mean, you can point to this and say, okay, well, this is the reason why I think that 5'4", 150-pound women probably shouldn't be like firefighters. Because what happens if like that woman gets up into like a fire and there's a 6'4", 275-pound dude of sheer muscle that's passed out because of smoke inhalation? That dude dies because of equality. Or and the bitch of it is like, I think equality should exist, but it should exist realistically, right? Like realistically, because I mean, should that person die for equality? You know what I mean? Like what's the end game? You know what I mean? And every time you hear trans athlete blows the doors off the old records, all that's saying is that the people that say that there is equality, unrealistically, they're completely incorrect, and they're not seeing the bigger picture on it. You know, so
yeah,
it's a big. I think it's a huge deal that people just they're not seeing the overall, and like people think like all right, I'm going to quote Jurassic Park. A lot of people only ask the question, you know, should we? And didn't ask the question, no, they asked the question, can we? And they didn't ask the question, should we do this? You know what I mean? Like the extent that these people are going through, and like I said, it's all about dominance. It's not about anything else. It's about getting their agenda across, whatever it is. And it's about putting people in their place through guilt and shame. This is all it is. And when you wind up society to be like, oh, you need to accept all this mental illness that exists out there, even though it completely fucking defies common sense, society's going to be fucking doomed.
Yeah, man. I saw a great fucking video today by a guy named, I don't remember. I think it was like Independent Man or something like that. And it was about the Snowflake Generation. And it showed in Australia, I think the guy's Australian, and it showed how basically Australian college students or high school students or something that were Muslims were getting treated bad by their co-students, not even getting attacked, just getting things said to them and stuff. And how it was because of Donald Trump, the American president's tweets, and they were complaining to their government, like in a city council or something like that, to do something about it. Like my feelings are hurt because of what this guy somewhere else said about me on Twitter. So I'm going to call the fucking government in and demand that me as a citizen, that they meet my needs and shit. And I'm a special fucking snowflake and shit. I mean, like that's
these are the people that get. These are the people that get the participation trophies. They get the trophy because they were there, which means that society is telling them as a child that their opinion matters. And in reality, it doesn't. My opinion doesn't matter. What we're saying right here will probably be lost to the annals of fucking history. You know, it's not going to matter. Maybe somebody might listen to it one day and be like, oh, you know what? You got some fucking points. You know what I mean? But it's a long shot. You know, what we're talking about is a generalized topic right now that a lot of people are talking about, and a lot of people are fighting in different directions, and there's different like groups of people pushing for different outcomes on it. And ultimately, like I said, to be unrealistic about things, like where people work and what people do, like it's nothing but a design for failure. It's preparation for failure, essentially. It's going to happen in some shape or form. Like, people always talk, I'm sure everybody's heard it a million times. People always talk about like gender differentials and specific jobs and stuff where like, you know, like there's not enough women in this type of fucking field and shit like that, like marketing or TV or shit like that. But nobody ever complains that there's not enough women in fucking sewage work and like being an electrician or a construction worker, or, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, there's no women chomping at the bit saying these dudes are clearing out 6-foot fucking pipe shit lines from the city's main fucking shit line. I want to do that because I can. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. It's probably I would be willing to bet in this country, probably 90% of those dudes are like, fuck, my pullout game is weak. I got 6 kids. I got to feed them. Well, okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, nobody's doing that shit. It's like people that tell you anything you put your mind to, dear, you can be. And then like I used to always ask people like growing up, I'd be like, well, do you mean to tell me that the janitors in my school wanted to be fucking high school janitors? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it has more to do with how people are raised nowadays, and there's just consequences and byproducts to it, and it's fucking sour, dude. It's not good. I said it last time we were talking. Is the millennial generation. That's an entire fucking generation of people that are just emotional cripples. They're not gonna know how to live and adapt through fucking society. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So for those people to be as coddled as they're expecting life to be for themselves, they're I don't know. I mean, are the measures that are being taken now setting up the platform for that to be an actual possibility for these little fucks? I mean, is all the programming that we're receiving now, is it all just, do they really have a lot of faith? I mean, because think about it. Like, okay, when I saw this episode that Sun and Moon Group were equating to Mark Sargent being on that astronaut thing, they had Charles Johnson on the Wally George show. And Wally George was a normie, he was like a conservative, but he was a normie, and his audience is just, good old USA conservatives and USA #1. And they immediately mock him. And then the host of the Sun and Moon Group video says, look, and this right here is only 10 years into full-on globe indoctrination, like from the government and from NASA and the television. Like, and because the guy himself, Charles Johnson, in this interview on Wally George, the show is from the late 70s. And this guy himself is in his late 60s or 50s or 60s or 70s at that point. I think he's in his late 60s. And he says on the show, he's like, listen, anyone who's like 70 or something years older right now already knows the damn earth is flat. He basically says that. And if you think about that for a second, it kind of makes a lot of sense. Like, people pretty much treated it like that until this 1960s when NASA really started pumping it right up people's fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, constantly from when you're like 2 years old in school, you're already like getting taught the globe and shit like that. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a very interesting point that was made. I'm not trying to convert you to flat earth or nothing. I'm just saying that's a very interesting point that was made. No. The fact that they were just 10 years.
Yeah, dude, no.
And all the people in the crowd are just fucking balls to the wall. Fuck you. There's a globe. You're an idiot. There's a globe. It's a globe. You boo and shit, But anyways.
Well, yeah, dude, I'm always, dude, I have no problems with things that I disagree with and explaining them. And I can assume the situation. I can assume the mindset of holding an idea in agreement. I don't need to agree with it, but I can still push it. I can still, I don't know, change my, I could change my base. I could say it's round. I could say it's flat. I can argue how physics would work probably from both fucking angles, even though I think a lot of it's unproven from both anyway. So, but still, yeah, dude. No, I don't worry about it, man. You can talk anything with me, man. I think that's.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with it.
There might have even been a greater point to that, though. I think I was still trying to get on the subject of like groupthink and how the liberal mindset. How these people were already just sheeping out and shit like 10 years in to the fucking globe indoctrination from TV that they saw on TV,
Yeah, dude, it's not young. And if you consider it honestly too, once the NASA stuff started coming out, I mean, all right. So I'm gonna play the flat Earth role, I guess, and argue from that standpoint, and just do the caveat that's there. So if you consider that if the Earth would be flat, then once rockets come out, it has to be a globe because it has to touch. You know what I mean? The things have to exist. They have to be able to get to specific areas, and it needs to make sense. Specifically, certain distances and stuff like that. So I think it's easy to pass off the globe idea with rockets exist in reality, if they do. And I don't even know I know rockets are real, but I don't know what the fuck, because the shit just doesn't make sense to me. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it's helpful to push along the narrative. You know what I mean? Like, all right, fuck it, whatever. I really feel that specifically as the delivery system for nuclear weapons. However, I think nuclear weapons are fucking sketchy. There's so much information to dig into, and I think that they have to propagate one lie to fulfill another lie, and to keep going with it. It has to be fulfilled. It has to happen. And I think that's the case. I was reading a thing the other day about geosynchronous balloon systems or something like that. NASA's coming out with balloon systems that sit at 70,000 feet high, and they're going to act as satellites, and because the atmosphere is so thin that it doesn't, no wind blows, there's no density up there, so they can just linger and hang out for as long as they want. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, so we went from balloons, we went to fucking rockets, to satellites whizzing around the Earth, now we're back to fucking balloons? Or did they just lie about all the shit in between and we've been on fucking balloons this entire time? And they're telling people that, because if you consider it, if you tell people from the get-go 50, 60 years ago, oh, you just send a balloon up there and you could bounce a signal off it and make it travel twice as far, then why isn't businesses like Walmart saying, hey, we're going to put a Walmart balloon up there because they believe that you need to have a rocket to put a fucking satellite and blah, blah, blah. I think it's just a misinformation campaign. I really do. I think it's just a disinfo campaign, the whole thing. So, I mean, you would consider there would be pirate radio, pirate TV, some millionaire, you know what I mean, would be like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to drop a fucking $1 billion on some balloon satellites and throw it up there, and the FCC can't stop me. Unless they use like missiles or fucking machine guns or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, so, and if you tell people that that's totally out of the realm of possibility, it doesn't even enter the zeitgeist of the mindset of a businessman saying, hey, we can do this on our own. But no, we have to go through the FCC and use their infrastructure, and it doesn't make a lick of sense to me how we would actually go backwards in progress. Now we're sending balloons up to 60,000 feet. What do you mean we didn't fucking get balloons up to 60, 70,000 feet and make them sit there for a while? When we were sending fucking rockets up there, come on.
That's, I mean, Chris Fisk is in the chat and they said, "Yup, truth, Ed." Yeah, I mean that's like a straight up truth bomb that you just dropped on my audience right now, bro. Thank you. You there? Let's see here. We got Bipolar Troll. I know you're not really Tim. We got Daniel Pratt reshaping our world. Honored to have you, Daniel Pratt. How many Judge Skeptics does it take to change a light bulb? Man.
Here we go. Sorry, dude. I had to run in.
Okay.
I'm turbo busy, man. Like I said, Wednesday I'm heading back to my house. So, but yeah, I got responsibilities. So.
Oh, that's cool, man. If you, I mean, you know, I'm about to end this show right now, anyways, man. I think.
Yeah, no sweat, dude. I appreciate you having me on. It was fun, dude. You know, good old fashioned fucking get to know you type hangout.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just want to say that ECW is the best wrestling organization of all time.
Oh, wait a second.
Don't question me because you'll be wrong.
Oh, so okay, so you want to tease pro wrestling and shit, bro? I mean, do you really want to talk about pro wrestling, bro?
I don't know much. I don't know much. All I know is back in the late '90s, ECW was on like the Spanish network at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I used to stay up and I'd go to the shows and shit like that. And it was the best. And then when it died, it died.
Yeah, bro. That was a super badass phenomenon. That was like one of these weird instances in that business. You know, it's just like sometimes there's a really badass band that doesn't quite make it to the big time, but they have some success, and you get to see them live, and then they break up. But you saw them live, you know, like some one of a kind band or something, you know. But that's what that's what they were. They were like a one of a kind band, and they were like a badass independent wrestling federation that fucking innovated and like changed the entire fucking industry and shit, bro. And
changed the world, man. Changed the world.
Yeah, you're lucky you got to see that live, man. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, I seen them a couple different times. I even seen them at home base in Philly. I drove down there one day.
In the bingo hall?
Yeah, dude.
Oh shit, bro. Is it really like really fucking hot in that place?
Yeah, like 120 the whole time, man. It's terrible.
Oh, oh man. All right. Well, all right. We could talk about that. We could talk about that.
Yeah, we can make that a whole other thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Okay. All right. Well, Man, it's been great having you on here. Thanks for joining me, dude. I mean, I know I just don't know. I've been around you a lot, but I just wanted to talk to you one-on-one, you know, just for the listeners and stuff, just for something new, just to mix it up. Validation Boy, got to keep it fucking fresh and shit, you know?
Right, dude. And again, I apologize for the things I had to do, but I had to do them. So I'm sorry for some of the dead air and the quick exits.
No, it doesn't matter, bro, because, I mean, I edit out all the drop-offs. I edit out all that shit, man. So if you go back and watch this, you know. Yeah, I mean, when people watch this on the playback, it's going to just skip right to us talking, so it doesn't even matter.
Right.
All right, man.
All right, dude. Again, I appreciate you having me on. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to BB. Yeah, you know, stay greasy and fuck beta chads and 30+ fucking roasties.
So raw, bro. So raw. Ed UpsideDownHead.
Yeah, dude. Have a good time, man. Take it easy.
Hey, you're going to be a guest, okay, many more times in the future. I just want you to know. I just wanted to have this one-on-one
for sure, man.
this one time. Okay, cool.
For sure,
thanks,
dude.
bro.
All right, me, man. I'll be around.
All right.
Later, man.
Late. Okay, guys. I had a lot of fun there. I wanted to get a one-on-one with Ed UpsideDownHead. Keep it light. We've never really had a one-on-one, you know, but the guy's always raising such great points. I've listened to him in other shows that I wasn't even part of the panel, and I've just been like, oh wait, man, this guy's awesome. This guy's the best. I love this guy, you know. And I was fortunate enough to have Ed UpsideDownHead linked in by Timmy. You know, Timmy as a guest on my show, a great guest, actually. One of my best guests ever is Tim Osman. He says he's gone away, but I've seen him lurking about. I see you lurking, Timmy. We all see you lurking, and we know it's you because we go to the channel. Unless someone straight up jacked your channel, which I doubt. And we see you. And actually, I heard you on Nathan's show bust in and tell Nathan about his bit rate today on Nathan's debate. And you said you were going away, Timmy, and I was really starting to miss you. I even honored your request. You know, don't anyone try contacting me and stuff. And then you come lurking around, Tim. You know, you're more than welcome around these parts, Tim Osman. You know, this is Validation Boy's truth. You know what I'm saying? This is not about the world and y'all's truth per se. It just so happens that Validation Boy's truth is usually the truth of the world. So, you know, I'm one source that y'all can listen to for truths. I had a great guest on tonight who laid out a serious truth bomb, or like 5. You know, that was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, amazing guest. We just barely touched the iceberg of the knowledge of wealth that Ed UpsideDownHead has on all kinds of subjects. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of subjects. We had Daylight Ohio in the chat the whole time, being a complete and utter badass. We had, let's see here. I think I could even take my headphones off. We had a chance to touch base with Ed. He's going to be a future guest many, many times over as I proceed to do panel shows occasionally. I know a lot of people say Validation Boy is best when he's on his own, which I can't disagree, you know, but guests always make things different. And then it's not about me being my best. It's about this show being the best. And because of the guests that I have, it actually makes the whole show better. You know, especially like tonight. Made the show 10 times better than it would have been with just me rambling tonight, because I didn't have much to give you guys. Did not have much to give you guys other than, you know, feminazis suck, and worship of the globe is worship of the Gynocracy and the pregnant belly of a ball, Earth of Gaia, Mother Earth. And people are out there saying otherwise. The feminists are out there saying otherwise, and they want you to believe that they still are somehow between you and God, and that they hold the priestesshood of the gold-plated vagina, which is something that I didn't want to put Ed on the spot with, you know. But he started to, you know, go there. But there was some things that he had said that I wanted to reply to, but I'll have to think of them next. I'll have to think of them when I listen back to this and bring them up next time. You know, it's an honor to have Ed in here. Seen him around so many places. Timmy linked us through, got in contact. I tried searching his channel, but I couldn't find it. But now Now I know how to get to it. Now it's all good. So I'm going to link his channel below in the edited version of this video, where I will edit out those dark spots where nothing's being said of any substance. And you guys can all have a great time watching this. This has been a very cold night down here in Florida for Validation Boy. A long work day in the daytime. Very exhausted coming into this show. Felt a little nervous earlier in the day, thinking, "Oh man, I've never been on with Ed live, but I think we can make it happen. I think it can be good times." And yeah, Validation Boy is an awkward platform. It's a deep dark corner of Flat Earth YouTube, and I am an awkward host. Sometimes I inadvertently put people into strange conversational positions, and I don't even necessarily mean to. But it does happen, and I apologize to anyone who's ever been a guest on my show at any time for that. I don't mean to, it's just that, conversation leads me down roads, mental roads. Shit happens. And we try to have good conversations with people, try to figure out where people are really coming from. Sometimes conversations take wild turns, but that's not the point of the conversation. Topic is not the point sometimes. Sometimes the point is seeing people's intentions, not even trying to look through any kind of deception per se, but just trying to understand true intent behind people's, word choices and stuff in healthy conversations or in arguments, whatever it may be. That is what the communication platform of YouTube is all about. You know what I'm saying? I think that only a very special few people that are out there are even content producers and are even on this platform and put themselves out here like this to be part of each other's shows and stuff like that. So just like all my guests, Ed UpsideDownHead is in this world, just some badass dude, some fucking badass dude that just exists out in this world. And he has the guts and the nuts to have his YouTube presence and to state his opinions and tell it like it really fucking is, and have a good time doing it, and use this platform as a thing in his life that, can be a positive thing, just like he was saying. I try to keep it upbeat with Ed. I don't want to take him to too dark of places, at least not unless I have a whole bunch of people around, and I'm not, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot like that per se, especially not a brand new guest like that. But I mean, that was a first time, and that was a fantastic first time guest appearance by Ed UpsideDownHead. And once again, I thank Timmy for hooking that up. All right, guys. All that being said, it's been a whole lot of fucking fun for me tonight, this time. Super lazy. I've been working extra hard. I put out that video, Flat Earth, the global Gynocracy. Or the global Gynocracy. Check it. I'll link it below. A lot of you guys should really check out that video. It really states some ideas for people to think about. It talks about the male mindset versus the female mindset. Not men versus women, but mindsets. And just like Ed was talking about earlier, mindsets can occupy all different kinds of people on all kinds of different levels of the spectrum of sexuality and all that disgusting shit. That's a Hegelian dialectic or whatever, where they put something into society. Society can either reject it or accept it. It doesn't matter. Society has to then talk about it. Now, the fact that they're talking about it means that it's already in the society, and the people who presented this odd idea have now already won. And that's why bad things happen. That's simple principle. That's because in the West, we're fucking conditioned for that shit, Such is life. I mean, I'm having such a good time talking about these things that I know about, things that I know to be true in this world. And I have you guys listening. I got 28 listening right now. I'm gonna head out, guys. All right. So once again, much love, respect to the real fucking Flat Earth community out there. Don't fall for fucking gynocentric fucking leftist fucking bullshit treatment from people in your lives, no matter who you are. No matter who you are. Don't put up with that system of operation. Don't tolerate that system. Take strides against that system. Make it interpersonal with the people around you. That's what life's about. Make a change in this fucking world. Make a difference. Do things good. Do things for good too. And do them good too. All right, guys. I almost don't even want to hang up, but I'm not going to subject you to this fucking bullshit anymore. It's been Validation Boy, a live stream, December 11th. Special thanks to Ed UpsideDownHead for being my guest tonight. This has been Validation Boy live stream, December 11th, 2017.